Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Lady Nika in with another retro review. This is Dynasty, circa 1981, season 1, episode 6, entitled "The Chauffeur Tells a Secret." I apologize that this review is coming late. I actually recorded 4 different reviews this past weekend. 2 were inside of a phone that, of course, I gave y'all the backstory on my phone situation. And the other 2 I tried to upload last night along with my celebrity news as well as my Real Housewives of Atlanta. And by the way, please go check out both of those videos. It would greatly, I would be greatly appreciative of you if you would go back and watch my celebrity news video from last night, as well as my Real Housewives of Atlanta review that was all uploaded last night. But what happened with these retro reviews? When I tried to upload it, it said that the file was corrupt. So that caused me to have to wait till I get off on Monday evening to actually re-record this again and get it up to you. So I'm sorry I'm late, but I'm here. I'm gonna try to do at least 2 every week until we complete the season out. And if you guys are, if I see that the viewership has gone up and you guys are really feeling the retro, then I'll continue on into season 2 of this series. I was also thinking, I got so deep the other night inside of doing watching some old shows and getting my thirst back for doing reviews. Girl, I almost reviewed Cagney and Lacey. I had to pull it back. I said, "Oh, you being too extra." Anyway, let's get into this review. Child Steven is still being hit up by his ex, Ted, I think that's his name. He sent him a letter with some pics of himself. Now, out at the courts, Fallon and Jeff, Blake and Crystal are in a game of tennis. Now, Crystal tried, and it's hot. She tired, she hot. Jeff tired, and he hot. But that Blake and that Fallon, oh, them two things is born competitors. They act like they in Wimbledon trying to hit the ball for their life. Do you hear me? Girl. Afterwards, Jeff and Fallon asked Blake, can they stay on at the house a while? Blake is obviously delighted by that, but he said it's a democracy. And he asked Crystal, was she good with that? And she said yes. But remember, Fallon is jealous of her dad's new wife and there's tension between them. Plus, Fallon overheard Crystal talking to Matthew about him not giving them a chance and her choosing basically to be with Blake because Matt turned her down or ended the relationship. Side note, y'all, I watched this as a kid, meaning under 18, right? So at first I said Crystal is a lucky woman, to have 2 handsome men, one being wealthy, the other one does have a good career. However, it always get a little tight when you're trying to be your own boss. So that's why Matthew, in my opinion, don't live better than what he actually do. And moment of truth, I told y'all I like 2 types of men. Okay, it's 2 type of men which I like. I really, I'm kind of shocked at my current situation because ugly he is not. But my 2 types is ugly and I loves me a smart man. A ugly smart man, girl, I'll be down like 4 flat tires. I ain't lying to y'all, baby. I'll be down. But I like the smart ugly man, and I felt like Crystal when I was growing up was a modern day Cinderella story. Now, as an adult, and I had way more life experience, I realized Crystal went all the way right in this season. In this show, she had her moments, but Crystal wasn't right either. Crystal chose Blake because Matthew broke up with her to save his family. Had he not done that, she was fully prepared to leave Blake ass in the wind, him and his millions. But Matthew said, marry him. And she got to thinking, child, let me, go on and move on up to this deluxe mansion on this estate. I just found that interesting how my perspective changed so drastically from when well, I guess that's a part of the growth process, but I don't see it the same. Anyway, Matthew and Claudia talking, and she mentioned seeing Ed's wife at the market. She also mentioned that fight that was between the two husbands and mentioned that it was because um, he was defending what she called was a fruit, meaning a gay man. Now, see, here's yet another moment I'm about to jump on my damn soapbox. I was very offended by that reference uh, as well as Claudia was in this episode, in this moment. See, then again, I was like, okay, as a kid, it didn't hit the same hearing this. But now I'm grown as fuck now. And when I heard her say that Ed's wife Nell referred to Stephen as a fruit, girl, I wanted to cuss a bitch out. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to really cuss a bitch out. You know, let me run this real quick and I hope it tastes smooth and is satisfying. I can't take a bitch serious when she have her age and her hair color matches. Her only difference between Neil and motherfucking Edith Bunker is she's supposed to be half Edith's age and she wears more of a black style hair color opposed to Edith's brunette brownish colored hair. You know what I mean? I can't take nobody serious that look like that. Girl, please. She got her Edith Bunker all the way together. Way back then. Anyway, for all of y'all that got the DVD collection, go to episode 3 and look at that part in the episode where they're at this restaurant and Neil and Ed are sitting at that restaurant worried about what Steven had going on with his ex at a whole different table. They both some nosy hillbilly ass bitches. I ain't appreciate that. Let me get off my soapbox, child. Claudia said she didn't appreciate the reference either to calling him a fruit and says that she was surprised to hear any of that from Nell. Matthew said he forgot, but he did thought he did tell her, but obviously he forgot. They both agreed that Stephen should be free to live his life as he chooses to. Now, the daughter, Lindsay, got a friend coming over, and she making sure it's cool with her mama that the dude Christopher come over and they rehearse on this play, right? She said it's okay. I got worried instantly because I knew something was gonna happen, but we'll get to it. Claudia still has her moments also, and I was like, Lord, what if she has a moment, something in that house today trigger her, and she is not, her good day turns into a bad day, but she says cool. Now we see Jeff and Fallon um getting ready to leave and I guess going about their work day or whatever, child. Michael out there, the driver, wiping down both their cars and eavesdropping too because he's jealous that he's been smashing Fallon and now she done moved on and pay him dust. Once she get in the car, Jeff tries to offer him some money as a thanks for getting his car ready as well as Fallon, and he gonna tell him the Carringtons provide everything I need and refused it and closed the door to Fallon's side of the car. Then get in the car thinking he was about to talk to Fallon. She let up that divider window and I screamed. I said, baby, you ought to realize what it's hidden for. You really should. But he don't. He gonna drive up a little bit and then pull over and tell her to get out, talking about he wanna take a white walk despite her saying she doesn't feel like walking. All in her business about her marriage and stuff. What she like about Jeff. She said he was nice and gentle, and he said that's something that she likes about every 2 months. Child, she said she could slap him. He threw her up against a tree and was trying to kiss her, then said he feels like he's entitled to a few minutes of her time. She told him, no, 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 no. What you're entitled to is that to wear that uniform and whatever pay my dad pays you for driving. She reminded him that she is married and do not intend to cheat on her husband. He said you don't intend to do it yet. and then started talking about how much he missed her and shit. And she wasn't buying that. So he asked her why did she really marry Jeff, and she said for Kobe Coat Oil. I said, well, damn, moment of truth. At least the girl is honest. She said, I want to own it and run it. He said, well, you picked the wrong one because Cecil Kobe is the go-to for that. And we both know you had a chance with him, and that's when she got mad because she was messing with him, but child, he only messed with her so he can push her into a situation where she would be pushed off on his nephew Jeff. And the fact that she came to him asking for a favor for her father, that solidified it. He knew he had her lock, stock, and barrel, but he did lay pipe to her though. You know, Fallon was a little old ho 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 back then. It just, people didn't ride her because they were supposedly wealthy, but a hoe is a hoe is a hoe, honey. Crystal gave the staff the day off, and it's her and Blake all up in the kitchen, PG-13 style. She says she wants to do more, be more involved in his life and his works. She wants to be involved again because she was a pretty good secretary. He said, well, you know what? I do feel like I want you to get more involved. He said, in fact, I want a baby. And I want one more sooner than later because neither one of us are getting any younger. And she agreed. Now, remember last episode, Michael hit on Cecil Colby's secretary, the little British chick. Well, they in bed this episode eating pizza at this point. He fishing for information, and she didn't let it slip up that you know being the rich sometimes do bail each other out, and she was suggesting something along the line of something like that happened between Carrington and Kobe, right? He wanted to know more, and she started saying that it was confidential, but he's trying to persuade her through like foreplay to reveal what she know. Now, this chick not bright at all. She not at all. But her intuition did try to kick in and save her, but she didn't listen. She asked him, was he either, are you working for some rag trying to get some information like the Inquirer? I mean, are you really here? Are you here with me because you really like me? Or what's going on here? And he tell her that he is there for her and he truly like her. He put it on his mama. And she said, but you telephoned her in Los Angeles from my office Wednesday. He said, oh, that's my stepmama. My biological mama died at childbirth. And she really fell for that and began to tell him little information, starting with how Fallon came to Jeff called me Cecil Colby's office one day. And then now she's married to his nephew. So she basically spilling beans. He digging her down and she is spilling all the tea, right? Now, Lindsay came home with her friend after school to study for this play, right? Claudia not there, but she done left them some cookies. Um, she gone to see her therapist because she been uneasy the last few days. See, things are improving with her and Matthew. They even having sex again and more often, but she beginning to feel some kind of way that paranoia is coming back to when she was in the hospital and she would always feel like he was with other women and it made her angry then and now. She says she learned to rationalize it as his needs. The women she assumed that he was messing with were faceless women were only considered Matthew's needs until last week when she came face to face with what she believed is one of those said women. She said it was at a dinner party. The woman was a host. She's newly married to a man Matthew used to work for. She said the woman is beautiful, have beautiful eyes, except when she looked at her, she looked away. Child, I said, ooh. Now, Lindsay and her schoolmate Christopher are studying their lines for the play. Then he began to do what a normal boy would do. He started trying to kiss on her, and at first she was accepting of it, but he got a little too aggressive, and she started asking him to stop. Please get up off me, don't do this. And he only stopped when she ended up knocking over a lamp onto the floor. and yelling at him and crying for him to leave. And as he left, he told her she was just as crazy as her mother. And so she yelled at him again to get the fuck about her mom and them house, and he did. Then next thing we see her do is jump in her mom's car and drive off somewhere in tears. Now at the job site, some of the men are trying to give Stephen a hard time. Matthew comes to talk to him, letting him know that, he and Walt like his work ethic and whatever, and he invited him to dinner. Stephen kind of snapped because he irritated by how they treat him down at their site. He apologized but did end up accepting the dinner invite. Claudia walking home from that bus stop instead of driving her car like her man bought for her, notices the car is missing, goes inside, see the lamp knocked over on the floor, calls Matthew because she said that Lindsay and the car is missing, so he heads home. Michael goes to see Blake about Fallon. He says Cecil Colby had been giving Blake some money, kind of like that bailout money, and Blake agreed and asked why, what of it. He then tells him that it was a deal. Fallon agreed to marry Jeff in exchange. Colby would bail him out financially. So old Miss Secretary really did fall for the okey doke and told it all. Okay, she done played herself. Blake said Michael was lying, and Michael said, "Okay, if that's what you want to believe." He wouldn't tell him the source, but told him, "I just wanted you to know," and he left. Lindsay made it to her dad's job site. Walter called to calm Claudia down, telling her that, Lindsay had came out there. Walt also took a moment to talk to her and tell her, "You know what, you're only 14, you're too young to be driving." But child was hollering when she said, "But you the one that taught me." He said, "Oh, that might not be the best idea." Then he encouraged her to talk to her mother. Because she don't think she can talk to her mama. So you need to talk to your mother. Your mama had a mental break and that was beyond her control, but she understands more than what you actually think she does. Give her a chance. Round about that time, Matt and Claudia showed up, relieved to see their kid. Lindsay said she didn't want to talk about what it was that upset her. Matt said, "Well, you done worried us halfway to death. Now we can talk about it now or we can talk about it later, but we're gonna talk about it." So she agreed to talk about it later. And he didn't push the gas. Now on the ride home, because he stayed on at work, but Claudia took her home. On the ride home, her mom asked her, "Did Christopher try to do something to you at the house?" And she was like, "How did you know?" She said, "Because I'm a mother." She went on to say something. He said something too, didn't he? Like you were crazy like your mother or something heavier. At that point, Lindsay was upset and said she hated him. Claudia said, "Well, I'm sure sometimes you hate me as well." She told her no. So her mama gave her some gems on the ride home. She said Christopher is a young man. And there are going to be some men who respect women, and there are some who don't. She said some will try to hurt you if you reject them, and others will understand. She said, but someday you will find that special someone, and when you do, you will see how beautiful it truly can be. She said that that is what she has with her father, Matt. Later at the dinner table with Stephen as a guest, Lindsay started asking all kinds of questions, like does he have a wife that make meatloaf for him because that's what Claudia cooked? He said no, he not married. Then she asked if he engaged, and Matthew said that is not, a nice question to ask anybody. And Stephen said, why not? He said, no, I'm not married, and no, I'm not engaged either. Later on, he telling Lindsay, who is intrigued about New York, what it's like living there and some of the sights and sounds. And that took me back again. That's one thing about these retro reviews that take me back to a time. Child, it took me back to the times where we used to sit down as a family and actually have dinner together. And after dinner, you would sit in the living room and kind of talk with your parents about your day, address any concerns. Anything you ain't talk about at that dinner table, y'all would address it right there. Just a little family time. Then she got ready to go upstairs and study for her math, and Matt gonna help her because he not that good with math either. Okay, so they go upstairs. That leaves Claudia and Stephen a chance to have a little conversation. But let's put that on pause. Let's go back to the Carrington mansion because Blake is going the fuck off about Fallon making a deal with the devil to help him save his company from failure. Crystal got up to leave to allow him and Fallon to talk, and he told her, "You wanted to be a part of this family, so stay and be a part of it." So she sat her ass down. Blake asked Fallon, does she even love this man, Jeff? She didn't reply. He asked her what made her think that he would ever need her pity and concern. Has he ever needed it before? He said he has not forgotten how to get his ass up out of situations that are kind of sticky. He can handle his own. He said what's she gonna do in a year when he's out of his bind? What happens when he gets in trouble again? Will she sell herself again? And in that moment, Crystal kind of interjected because she felt like he was being too harsh on her, and she was telling him to stop because the girl, she might be a hoe, but she loves you, right? The hoe gonna turn around and tell Crystal stay out of her affairs with her father, only for Blake to tell her to apologize to the girl. Apologize. She said no at first and then ended up apologizing, talking about you can talk, everybody can talk. Because at this point, I'm about ready to take the brass ring off. He told her, you gonna sit, no the hell you ain't. What you gonna do is make it work. You're going to stay in this marriage and you're going to make it work. He said he's a good young man. He said make things work, and she said, yeah. Thing is that how about he work on trying to make Steven more respectable kind of dude and just basically leave her alone. He told her you keep that damn ring on and you make this marriage work. She kept that ring on and shut up. Now let's go back over to Matt and Claudia. Her and Steven are talking over coffee and cookies, and here's where you see the bond. Then she admits that she's aware that he's gay. He vents that he's not even sure why he's at that job because how they treat him. She encouraged him to leave. She said he should never be somewhere where he is celebrated. He's tolerated and not celebrated, in other words, okay? He said, well, if I quit, I won't be able to come over here and sit down and have another meatloaf dinner. She told him, you'll always be welcome here. And to his surprise, I didn't understand this episode because how the hell her understanding that he's gay and it being accepting of it led to him and her tongue wrestling the way they was doing at the end of this episode. I said, baby, I was totally confused. But that was it. That was all for season 1, episode 6, entitled "The Chauffeur Tells a Secret." I hope you guys enjoyed the review. I apologize again for its lateness. We're going to do 2 reviews, 2 retro reviews a week until we complete out the season. And then I will look at the views and the audience participation down in the comment section. And I'll decide if I want to actually purchase season 2 and continue this. Okay. Thank you all for your patience and for coming down listening to the review for me tonight. Remember, in closing, as always, you do not have to be great to get started, but you have to get started in order to be great. And the depth of your struggle will determine the height of your success. In the meantime, in between time, please remember to rate the video ratings, get me recognized on the YT streets. Comment down below in the panel. Let me know what you thought about this episode, what you think about the overall series. Found out in the panel section. If you have not already, please subscribe to this channel as well as my backup channel, Lady Nyca Live. The link for the second channel is always in the description box below the title of the videos. And once you subscribe, please tap your notification bell buttons. Set them things to all so that each and every time I drop a pre-recorded video or go live from either channel, you will be notified and you can come over and join in the conversation. Have a great remainder to your Monday night. I plan on doing the same. And I will see you guys throughout the week. Peace.